you wanted the best, you've got the best podcast, the hottest podcast in the world. The Chris Voss Show, the preeminent podcast with guests so smart you may experience serious brain bleed. The CEOs, authors, thought leaders, visionaries, and motivators. Get ready. Strap yourself in. Keep your hands, arms, and legs inside the vehicle at all times, because you're about to go on a monster education roller coaster with your brain. Now, here's your host, Chris Voss.
Hi, folks. It's Voss here from the ChrisVossShow.com, the ChrisVossShow.com. Welcome to the big show. We certainly appreciate you guys. As always, the Chris Voss Show is the family that loves you, but doesn't judge you, at least not as harshly as the rest of your family, because, I don't know, maybe you're the black sheep. Are you the one that no one talks to? Well, if you want more people to talk to you, refer them to the Chris Voss Show so that they can get on the same page as you are. Go to goodreads.com/Chris Voss, LinkedIn.com/Chris Voss. Chris Voss, one of the TikTokity, and all those crazy places on the internet. Today, we're going to be talking to Charlotte Adams. She enables guitarists to lift their limits on earning and performance by employing optimal skills, thoughts, habits, and belief. And we're going to talk about how Eddie Van Halen was a hack. No, I'm just kidding. She didn't say that. I did. Eddie Van Halen's great. So Charlotte Adams is a guitarist, guitar instructor, and music educator who has taught thousands of guitar students in private lessons, classes, and workshops. In addition to providing instruction through her line of books and online materials, she continues to enable guitarists to abandon obstacles and lift limits through one-on-one virtual instruction. She's joining us today. Welcome to the show, Charlotte. How are you?
I am great. I'm so happy to be here.
We're happy to have you as well. Give us any .coms. Where do you want people to find you on the interwebs to get to know you better? Limitless-guitar.com. Limitless-guitar.com. So give us a 30,000 overview what you do over there, Charlotte.
Well, you kind of said it already, like I help guitarists lift their limits. So most people, whether they're beginners or advanced players, find places where they get stuck or they just feel like that's as far as they can go. Some people never keep up with it after they begin because they don't think they can go any further than they have. And we get past that.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. So do you work with beginners, novices, experts,
yes.
other levels? There you go. If Eddie Van Halen comes back, you'll work with him, I guess.
Absolutely. Yeah. I would be happy to help him. It's not just me working with someone. I do work with people one-on-one, but what my big thrust is with my 2-book set, You and Your Guitar, is so that you can learn to be your own best teacher. Because, think about it. When you're practicing guitar, you're teaching yourself. Yeah. If you have a teacher, you're only with the teacher maybe an hour a week. And then the rest of the time, you're in charge. So what you do during that time is really critical. And it's very uncommon for people to know how to do things in a way that will give them optimal results. So, and in fact, even with the teacher, a lot of times that's the case. So I am all about learning, and that's the thing is you can teach yourself. If you do work with me, then I will also teach you how to teach yourself.
So do you teach any certain style? Do you only work with acoustic? Do you do electric? Is there any sort of genres or something you stay to, or can you pretty much cover the gambit of everything?
Yeah, so I don't stick with any one genre. What my background is, I started as a kid, $5 guitar, taught myself. Started with folk music, moved into, I had one book and had Elizabeth Cotton Freight Train in it, so I learned that finger style. And then there's the Chet Atkins finger style. Pretty quickly was doing chord and melody. So, this is still high school, I'm doing this stuff. And then classical and then jazz. And so I have done all of those things, performing and playing and teaching, but also teaching whatever other styles people want to learn, because the style is something you can go to whatever teacher. I mean, I say, if you want to be a great blues player, hang around with great blues players and get whatever tips you can. But the learning itself and the understanding the instrument is the same regardless of style. But that's what I learned from teaching myself. So, yeah, I mean, people say, "Oh, you don't need a guitar teacher." Well, so, a lot of people don't need a guitar teacher, but maybe you do. Yeah.
I think doing guitar or any sort of musical instrument, learning to play other people's music first and getting kind of really good at that, and making it so that you can learn to play different styles, different, I mean, a lot of guitarists they're just different ways they go about stuff.
Right.
And so learning that's really important, I think, isn't it?
Right. And you know what you said about any instrument, you can apply these things like You and Your Guitar book. People apply it to not only guitar, other instruments, and also other things outside the music, because it's really about how to learn.
Probably a little bit about discipline too, huh?
Well, that definitely has to figure in. So it doesn't matter how much you know about something, you have to do it, right? You have to practice it. You have to practice correctly. So it's a commitment. It's an emotional and mental commitment too, as well as a time commitment. I think that way for everything in life, right?
Definitely, you have to. No one's there's few people that are born with talent, and even then they have to work at it. Like I think we joked about Eddie Van Halen in the show, God rest his soul, but I mean, even though he clearly had some innate talent, he still had to work hard at what he did and develop that muscle of being good at the guitar, and of course learning to do different things that were very innovative at the time.
Right.
Kind of making it his style eventually. They played a lot of covers and then they eventually went to his style. So how did you learn about the guitar when you were growing up? Sounds like you got started at an early age. And what was it that pinged you, kind of made that instrument stick out to you as something that, you were like, this is my voice right here.
Well, I did grow up in an era where, like, folk music, it's easy. Like, everybody was grabbing guitars and making music, right? And it was cheap. As I said, my first guitar was $5. So, handmade in Mexico. And you could get a book and you could get chord, and I had taken a few piano lessons, and that was okay.
Okay.
But I didn't really take to it. I think one of the things about the guitars is just so personal. So I could get into my room. It was my own thing. I had two sisters. I have a twin sister and another sister. And it was the only time I could go off and be by myself and do something that's really, really personal, really mine. And I think that is something that drives a lot of people. In fact, I think I was considering that, like, personal relationship you have with your guitar when I named my book You and Your Guitar, because I feel like what we're doing is just like a relationship. I mean, think about all the famous musicians who have actually written songs about their guitars. They name their guitars. I have the same kind of feeling. Like, it's a deeper feeling than I had with playing a piano out in the middle of the living room. But, that it was more external to me. You can hold your guitar close. There's so many things. It's a whole orchestra. You can do so many different styles on it. And I guess that's it, really. It's just very, very personal.
There's, I guess, normal acoustic, there's electric, there's flamenco, there's classical style, there's heavy metal.
Why so many guitarists have way too many guitars. Like, we collect guitars. We're not just collecting guitars. Each guitar has something different that adds to your music.
It's interesting. I went through that phase where I bought a lot of guitars, and there was one guitar that would just always speak to me that I could always ride on. There was the other ones just never really got any traction for me. And it was interesting how one guitar just, I don't know. And it was like some used guitar that I bought at a pawn shop and had the pickups taken out. I found early on a great place to get good deals on guitars is pawn shops. You can get some really nice stuff there. And but for some reason this Jackson and to this day I enjoy playing it and stuff, and for some reason any other guitar just feels unwieldy in my hands. I don't know, it's kind of weird how
you get it.
It's kind of weird how it just kind of comes your voice, and like this one fits me, and it's like weird. I was watching Tony Iommi from Black Sabbath, and he was talking about a guitar that a friend just made for him amateur wise on a kitchen table one time, and he
Wow.
like used it for like 20 years.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, and I mean he's missing one of his fingers, or at least the couple of the initial digits, so he plays with like a fake digit. And you're just
Oh,
like, holy crap, he's one of the
that's
greatest
neat.
guitar players ever, and here
Yeah.
he plays this way. Now you have a couple offerings on your website that you have. Tell us about some of these offerings. I think there's a book and some other educational materials.
Yeah. The first thing I did, I started writing books that were sort of just learn to play guitar books. So, in other words, they're not song books. So you don't learn the songs, but ear training theory, a beginning book, one for after that, called Moving On, and so forth. I got 6 of those out, and then I wrote You and Your Guitar, and that's the big thing that I've been referring to, because it's a 2-book set. It's not really where to put your fingers at all. It's about how to think, and how to organize your practice and your goals, and there's a daily practice log that goes with it.
Oh,
So that's all the materials. I have, I don't know, 7 or 8 books, and then I have what I call my virtual studio that has courses in it,
mm-hmm.
and 100 and some odd, 150, 200 lessons, audio, video, and text,
Mm-hmm.
and that. You can become a member of that, super cheap, super free for the first 30 days. Learn a lot in 30 days and get out if you want.
Oh, wow.
So that's a virtual studio. And then I offer working with people, lessons and coaching. And the coaching goes more into this kind of stuff I'm talking about with lifting the limits. And so it goes way beyond where to put your fingers. So this is something, if you are a professional musician, you might want to come to one or a series of coaching sessions to break through barriers.
Mm-hmm.
And or if you're not, you could just be a beginner. When I teach, I'm coaching most of the time anyway. I'm doing those same sorts of instruction with the teaching.
Mm-hmm.
Teaching is what most normal guitar teachers do, but you can get that off YouTube or all kinds of places. You don't have to be a teacher for that, but to learn how to teach yourself and to learn more about what's going on when you're practicing that is potentially holding you back, or just halting you, even slowing you down or completely bringing you to a halt. And this is the stuff that I work with on a one-on-one basis.
Well, that's good. So that makes your teaching pretty unique because of the way you handle it that way, right?
It's completely unique.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've never seen anybody else talk about this or do it. So I see learning in like 3 different levels. Like the way most people think about learning an instrument is what I keep calling where to put your fingers. the nuts and bolts. Okay, here's the instrument. Here's what you do with it. Right. The second level of learning, if you've got a really good teacher, will bring you into how to learn. So these are like the learning tips, like go slowly, take small bits at a time, have X number of repetitions, take breaks at certain times, all those things that you can find out about from lots of books about learning. Mm-hmm. Okay, the third level, which is unique, is what's your mental and emotional state. Okay, so this is going to cover a couple of things. One, it's going to cover your beliefs. So if you don't believe that you can, you believe, say you think, I'm tone deaf. Okay, right now you're tone deaf. But you don't always have to be tone deaf. I can help you to learn how to hear, recognize, and replicate pitches correctly. Or maybe I have no sense of rhythm. Okay. Right now, you don't have a sense of rhythm. That doesn't mean you're not always going to have a sense of rhythm if we go through this type of instruction. Or maybe I'm watching you play and I'll say, oh, sorry, I hate to interrupt you, but I just saw you lost your focus there. You're thinking about the ending, or you're still worried about the beginning.
No.
And then, find ways like to get in touch with when you're losing your focus, when you're starting to self-judge instead of critique in a positive way. when you're getting tired and how to shift it. You don't have to stop practicing or playing. You have to shift your energy. So it's a lot about your energy, your thoughts, your feelings, and your beliefs.
Oh,
That's the more unique part. And that's what really lifts the limits, is when you start to understand those things that are unique to you and then unique to that particular day, maybe even.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of challenges that go into it and the long term of it, and sometimes it's just not about practicing about the guitar; it's about the mindset. Would you agree?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It is. And so you can change all of that. And so we know that a musician's brain is actually different from a non-musician's brain.
Hmm.
Right? But you're not necessarily born with your brain that way. You develop it, just like you develop any other area of your life or any muscle in your body.
Hmm.
So that's what Limitless Guitar is really helping you to do, is to take the steps that will develop your brain into that of a musician.
Ah,
Yeah.
you got to have the right mindset for things, and you got to have the setup right. Otherwise, you can try and make something work. It's like, say you want to dig a ditch, and you brought you didn't bring a shovel or a bulldozer. You bought the wrong tool to it, like, I don't know, a fork. You're probably not going to go far in the ditch digging if
Yeah,
you
good bar.
don't have the right tools. And so you help people provide those tools.
Yeah.
When you call it limitless guitar, what does the limitless term refer to?
Well, just what I was saying is, so when you hit a barrier, like I've been in the same space. Maybe I haven't progressed for 2 years or 6 months or whatever. Whenever you start to feel dissatisfied, that you have, as you described, the tools to break through that barrier.
Hmm.
So you don't say, okay, I can only go so far because I don't have a good ear, or I can only go so far because I can't memorize anything.
Hmm.
I can only go so far because my fingers are too small, too fat, too, whatever. There are ways to break through any of these things that you perceive as barriers, and that's the limitless. And so you just keep going up and up and up. And
There
there's
you go.
no end of how far you can go with music. I mean, you could do everything that's ever been done and then create something new, because it's a creative endeavor. It's what I've always loved about it. I think I would be so bored with something that then you could get it done. Like, no, you don't ever get it done. It's limitless. Yeah.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, it's such a creative outlet. It's interesting to me how the guitar almost becomes a voice for some people. Like, you look at David Gilmour or just about any great guitarist. I mean, they're basically almost a lead singer with their guitar. It's their voice
Oh,
that they're amplifying out there, and the creativity, and it's kind of how they talk. They talk through it, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. Yeah.
well, yeah.
So how would one of the listeners that are listening to us right now, how would they get interested in working with you and get started on some of these ideas and learning about how to be a better guitarist?
Yeah, so I have it on my website. The first thing you do is just go to the website.
Hmm.
And I would click on the top menu, click on Y and YG, which stands for You and Your Guitar, the two-book set,
Hmm.
or the tab that says Start Here. Either of those. It's going to lead you back one to the other.
Okay. All
And
right.
then you'll see what you can do with You and Your Guitar. The first thing I would do is just buy the two-book set, because
Hmm.
everything is sort of under there. And you might want to go ahead, once you see what else is involved. You might get a package for your level or whatever. But the main thing is you need to get You and Your Guitar, get that understanding of what it is you're going to do. And
Hmm.
then join the virtual studio. Like I said, it's free for 30 days. So you have a very small output of money, and
Hmm.
you're in it. You're doing it. And then you have me, because you can email me. You can contact me you can comment on the Facebook page or join the Facebook group or whatever. But I will be your teacher and your helper. And then you can sign up for lessons or coaching if you want, and don't do it if you don't want, and ask questions, and you'll be in Limitless Guitar. Just go to the site and start here.
That works pretty good. You've got a way where people can can take it at their pace. They can do it at their will. And then, of course, nowadays with webcam, like we're doing here, you can talk to people over the internet, and you can help resolve their issues. You can walk them through their whatever they're doing wrong, all that good stuff. So
yeah, I even have a thing that I came up with that I think is pretty cool. Say you're working on your own and you don't want to take a lesson and you don't have a lot of money that you want to pour on it, but you don't know if you're doing it right. So you have a song and you're like, I can't even tell if I'm playing this right or not. Take a video or audio, even better, because then it's easy to send on your phone or anything. Email it to me for $25. I'll send you back all my ideas about, okay, you got an extra beat in this measure, your technique here, and give you the feedback on the song. I call it single song support. So it can be that small or that easy, or you can sign up. I have a thing if you say you've always wanted to go to music school, but you don't want to move, and you don't have hundreds of thousands of dollars or tens of thousands. So you can do that with me. You sign up by the semester. You meet with me twice a week. You have assignments, and you don't even have to do it on guitar. It's music. I've got one guy right now doing it on piano because it's just music. So you're learning ear training theory, musical analysis, listening, all kinds of things, composition. You can go from the smallest to the grand. And I'm happy to do all of it. I like variety.
Wow. Yeah. So you've been doing this for how many years teaching?
50.
Holy crap.
53 years. Yeah.
A long time. So you've been able to work with lots of people, and I think you said thousands. I think, didn't we say in your bio? Thousands.
Yeah. I've done a lot of workshops, guitar retreats, one-on-one, created a lot of different ways to learn.
So there's the You and Your Guitar, Limitless Learning Through Self-Study book, and then the daily workbook, journal, and practice log. That's probably important to have the practice log so that you can stay up on what you're supposed to be working on, right? Did I practice today?
Yeah, okay. Am I going to beat myself up? No, don't beat yourself up. But it is, it says journal, and it is a practice log, which is good, but it's more for you to, there are prompts like, what inspires you? What makes you laugh? Like you can make notes in this, just keep everything together. And then also you can see, these are my goals. How am I getting there? What are the best ways that I can get there with the next week, with the next year? Like I said, prompts and inspirational stuff. So I love the daily. It's really great.
Yeah. I mean, if you got to practice every day, it's kind of like writing or any other skill, man. You got to keep that muscle flexing, and it's like going to the gym and all that good stuff.
And you know what? So many people they resist it, that I've spent a lot of my career going, oh, that's okay. And it is okay. I mean, it doesn't bother me if you don't practice. It's for you. But, if you don't do it regularly, if you do it like the weekend athlete, well, just that phrase right there tells you what I'm going to say. You're going to have a lot of problems meeting your goals. You'll still get better, and you might enjoy it. And I'm not saying it's not okay to just play on the weekends or 1 or 2 days a week, but you're going to get the most out of it if you do it. Even if it's 5 or 10 minutes a day, if you do it every day, then it becomes a part of your life. It's part of your life. If you're thinking of it as external, like I've got to get to it, then you start getting guilt, and that's no fun. You don't feel guilty, like, oh, I have to do this. You don't have to do it. It's for yourself. It's for fun. But you can establish, in very few days, you can establish it as a habit. And then it's just like any other habit in your life. You brush your teeth, you play your guitar. But it becomes more a part of your life. You think about the music through the day, and you get more back from it by immersing yourself in it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, practice makes perfect, and staying on top of it. You talk on, I see a post here you posted about 9 months ago on LinkedIn about being an intermittent guitar player, where you have an on-off again relationship with your guitar. You help people stay up on it, even though they're kind of regular, I guess.
Yeah, so really all of us have times when we don't play guitar. I mean, we're living real lives.
Yeah.
And sometimes you have life things that are difficult, or you're just doing something else. You're really busy. You started a new job. You had a baby. You had a death in the family. You were sick. There's all kinds of things that keep you from playing guitar, and sometimes for months or years at a time.
Mm-hmm.
So that article is to help people how to get back into it and how to keep that from happening more than it needs to.
Yeah. I remember
happier.
I remember one of my frustrations with the guitar was, especially when we got new strings, you'd always have to get it in tune.
Yeah, there's that.
Hated that. They have a thing now where you can you can buy a certain guitar. I think it's a Gibson. And they have it to where you can just tell it, you dial a knob to what key you want it in, E, D, or whatever. And you turn the knob and it will turn the screws at the top for you and take it into tune.
Here's the thing. Since I've been teaching since dinosaurs walked the earth, then I have this perspective over a period of years. And I've seen people's ears deteriorate since electronic tuners came in. They've been out for a long time.
Yeah.
I advise people to use your tuner, but also use your ear. Practice every day tuning your guitar, because that's how your ear's going to get better.
Mm-hmm.
See, so there's some passive ear training things you can do.
Yeah.
And also there's a kind of crazy thing, like the guitar is hard because the relationship across the strings is interrupted between the second and third strings. It's like not a consistent relationship between sounds, between intervals. So It's really kind of crazy, and it'll drive you nuts. But if you tune, the old-fashioned way every day, like relative tuning, you start to kind of get a better idea of how that tuning works and how your guitar is set up. And you're not even thinking about it. These are the kind of things, like you just do this stuff, and it kind of just goes into your brain easy.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah.
Yeah. I learned I have some sort of weird relationship with the piano, and I can always tell when the keys are out of tune. Nice. And it will drive me nuts. It will.
Oh, that's awesome.
It'll bug me. I don't know why I have it with the piano. For some reason, I don't know shit about the guitar if it's out of tune. I mean, I kind of do. I know how to do what is it? E, D, A, F, B, G. Did I do the 6 right?
No, E, A, D, G, B, E.
Yeah.
Close enough for the show.
Yeah. I'm making stuff up as I go along, folks. Yeah. No, I used to play guitar fairly regularly. I don't anymore.
You need to read my article on intermittent guitarist.
Well, I took up drinking. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah. The whole era Clampton round took up heroin. No, I'm just kidding. Don't do that, folks. Don't do that. No. Some people say that drugs, alcohol, and rock and roll make things go better. To make people more creative. Do you find that's true after all the years you've been in the business, or is that
I find that if you're doing drugs and alcohol, you absolutely think you're better, but
well, I don't know. That's what I did in my first 5 marriages. It seemed to work okay, I think.
Right? I wonder why you had 5.
So what more do people need to know as we go out on what you do and how you do it?
Well, I think that the main thing is that, playing guitar or playing any musical instrument is a way to just elevate your life experience in a great way. And it connects you to other people, but you also learn a lot about yourself in a passive way while you're having fun. So the main thing is it's a lot of fun, and you can't really describe the feelings that you get from doing this. You just have to do it, man. It's just, it's like nothing else. You just got to do it. And the deeper you're going to it, the more fun you have.
How do you know if you're right for the guitar, or do you feel that just about anybody can be right for the guitar and they just have to learn the principles?
Yeah, I think anybody can play the guitar and improve on it and do well. But as far as being right for it, I'm not exactly sure what that means, but I think that we all have an affinity for certain things. Yeah. So if you're drawn to the guitar, you should play guitar. I mean, don't let anybody stop you. That's the main thing. Don't let anybody stop you. I mean, I've had people who have come to me from other teachers who have said, "Oh, you're terrible. You'll never get anywhere." And they tell their students this. I had one guy who'd been through 6 teachers before he found me.
Wow.
Yeah, no, it's not you. It's just the way you learn. And if you have someone to help you with the way you learn, you will play guitar and you will continue to improve. And you'll have fun.
Yeah, I like your style too about having it fun. You know, a lot of times when you go to school and you're in band and all that stuff, they kind of make it work because you're like, well, I got to get good grades doing this, you know, and it's not quite as fun as when you just, like you say, if you do something that's based in fun, well, it's fun. You tend to adhere to it and attach to it a whole lot easier, and it makes a difference, right?
Look, you know what? It is work, like you said, you have a discipline, but I call it good work. Like when you play a game or you go skiing down the mountain, whatever, there's a hard part to it. Like you're working. You know, you're not going to get out on a basketball court or ski down a mountain or, like I say, play a game and not have some aspect of it like I'm trying. I'm working, and sometimes you're going to be uncomfortable, and then you're going to break through, and it's going to be awesome, and you're going to want to go back and do it again. So to me, that's fun work, right?
Fun work, as it were. So as we go out, give people the final pitch. How can they onboard with you? Some of the service they can pick up, et cetera, et cetera.
Well, go to my website, Limitless Guitar. Go to my Facebook page, same, and email me, say hello. I will say hello back, even if you don't have any questions. I'll be glad to hear from you. I'm always glad to hear from people. If you get on my email list, I'll send you 2 free inspirational, educational emails a month without any sales or anything else. You won't be on the other list. Just interact with me. I want to interact with people. I like that.
Well, it's been fun to have you on the show and insightful. Charlotte, I'm glad you're helping the guitar business because I know it's been kind of hard for people lately in the guitar business, the guitar sellers, because a lot of people went off and been DJs. But I see a lot of women playing guitars and young kids on TikTok. And it seems like it's coming back where people want to play an acoustic sort of
I hope so.
thing again. So I hope so too. I grew up in the guitar era of the 70s and 80s and you know, some of the greatest rock stars known to man. I'm sure you did too. And yeah, it's, I kind of miss it. I kind of was like, what do you mean there's a DJ? Well, the guy takes records and makes them scratch? Like what's going on here? So he can't play if he loses his USB? Well, I'm pretty sure Jimmy Page can do just fine with his guitar no matter where he is. So he can still play even if his USB gets lost or his laptop. So and seeing some of the virtuosos, I've been watching a lot of Eddie Van Halen lately. That was the reason that joke came up. Is Alex Van Halen's out with a bio about their experience growing up as kids and Eddie Van Halen's life and his virtuosiness. But yeah, it's been fun to watch. So thank you very much, Charlotte. Give us your .com as we go out one last time.
Thank you. It's limitless-guitar.com. Come see me.
Thanks for tuning in. Go to goodreads.com/Chris Voss, LinkedIn.com/Chris Voss. Chris Voss won the TikTokity and all those crazy places on the internet. Be good to each other. Stay safe. We'll see you next time.